Hey folks, in this video we're going to teach you how to kick up to handstand. A kick up to handstand is the easiest entrance to your handstand, and it is a fundamental skill for acrobatics. We will start with exercises to prepare your body for this movement. Then we'll cover drills you can do on a wall, and we'll talk about safe exit strategies to take your handstand away from the wall. As you practice the exercises in this video, make sure that you have plenty of room to move around so you don't kick anything and you stay safe. So without further ado, let's get started. First off, we will do several exercises to prepare the wrists. The first one is called finger push-ups. Get on your hands and knees in a box position. Press your fingertips into the ground and raise your palms, then keep them engaged as you lower your hands back to the ground. Repeat this 10 times. Next, we'll do finger squeezes. Spread your fingers as much as you can, then squeeze the ground, keeping firm contact with your entire palm. Squeeze so that your middle knuckles raise off of the ground. Repeat 10 times. After that, sit on your heels and interlace your fingers. Then make circular motions with your hands 5 times in each direction. We call this exercise whirlpool. Then reach your hands out to the sides as far as you can, and extend your hands to send your fingertips back towards your head. You should feel stretch sensation in your forearms and hands. Hold for at least 10 seconds. Next, stand an arm's length away from a wall. Face the wall and place the fingers of one hand on the wall. Press the fingers into the wall and then your palm. Traction your palm towards the ground as you anchor your fingers and gently lengthen your palm and forearm. You can rotate the ribs away from your hand to deepen the stretch in the hand and forearm. Hold for 5 breaths or so, then repeat this process with your arm turned out so that your fingers are pointing back. Then do your other side. A plank is a prerequisite to a handstand. If you can't hold a plank, you won't be able to hold a handstand. Place your hands shoulder width apart and spread your fingers. Push the ground to keep your ribcage from sinking to the ground. Gently suck your belly button in to engage your deeper abdominal muscle and tuck your tail. Work on this until you can comfortably hold a plank for at least 30 seconds. Then stand an arm's length away from the wall. Place your hands about chest height, shoulder distance apart, and pike at the hips. Engage your abs to stay hollow, then send your chest a little bit more towards the ground. Engage your abs again to pull your chest away from the ground. Repeat this 10 times. Lastly, we'll do shoulder shrugs. Stand a few inches from the wall and lift your arms above your head, placing them shoulder width apart. Keep your elbows straight as you can as you extend your arms, reaching your hands as high as possible. Repeat that 10 times. Training proper alignment is the most important part of learning how to do handstands. Your hands should be engaged, gripping the ground without lifting the palm up off the ground. The elbows should be as straight as possible and your shoulders should be as elevated as possible. Ideally, your shoulders will touch your ears. You can check out our article on our website, Training Concepts for Developing a Handstand, for a much more thorough account for proper training techniques. The first thing you are going to do is stand with your back to the wall, then place your hands on the ground. Keeping your legs as straight as you can, walk your feet up to the wall. Your goal is to hold a tight diagonal position. Don't move your hands once you have set them in a good place, and make sure that you keep your core tight and tuck your tail. Work up to being able to hold this for 30 seconds. Work hard and push yourself, but for every drill that we do on the wall, make sure that you come down intentionally before you fall down. When doing this drill, make sure you don't put your hands wider than shoulder width apart. This makes your handstand more challenging to hold and balance, and usually leads to bending the elbows. Another common mistake is that students stick their butts out away from the wall or close their shoulders. Usually it's some combination of the two. Make sure that your shoulders are touching your ears and that you're tucking your tail when doing this drill. Once you are comfortable holding that position for 15 to 30 seconds, the next thing to work on is taking small steps in place. Push harder as you shift your weight to one side to lift your other hand. Try not to wiggle your hips too much. Do this 5 times on each side before you move on. This drill is a prerequisite for walking closer to the wall, so it's good to be very comfortable doing it. After that, we're going to do wall walks. Get into your diagonal position, then take small steps towards the wall, letting your feet slide up the wall as you get closer. Go as close as you feel safe doing this, then walk back to your diagonal. Repeat this a second time before you come down. Make sure as you take your steps that you keep your hands shoulder width apart the whole time. Once you can safely walk from diagonal to the wall and back twice in a row, you're going to do a chest to wall hold. Get into your diagonal position, then walk as close as you can to the wall and hold. You want to keep your shoulders extended and in alignment with your ears. Push your hips towards the wall and keep your ribs closed during this drill. At first, go for a 15-second hold, then come back with control. After you can do that, go for 30 seconds. Work your way up to being able to hold this for 1 minute before coming down. There are 2 ideal exit strategies for chest to wall handstands. You can walk out just as you walked in, or you can bring your legs to the side and cartwheel out. Either of these are good options for coming down off the wall. Once you can comfortably hold a chest to wall handstand, a good drill to find the ideal alignment is to walk all the way to the wall and try to press your whole body onto the wall. Once you're there, focus on pushing your hips into the wall without letting your feet come off or sinking in the shoulders. Work up to holding this for a minute. Next, we are going to work on kicking up to the wall. It's good to be extra aware when doing this drill because if you're not stable in your shoulders and they move towards the wall, you can bonk your head or fall down, neither of which are comfortable. If you have never done this before, start with your hands about 5 inches away from the wall. Once here, take one leg and do little kicks to get comfortable putting all the weight into your hands. Make sure as you kick that your shoulders and head do not move towards the wall. Slowly increase the height of your kicks once you're confident your shoulders are stable until you can get all the way up and lean on the wall. Once you feel confident, start standing with your hands above your head and kick up all in one movement. Make sure to stay hollow in the ribs and keep your shoulders extended. Work on being able to hold this for 1 minute. Before we take this away from the wall, we want to talk about exit strategies. There are 2 ways to come out of your handstand if you start falling towards your back. The best one is to cartwheel out. To do this, you lift one hand and turn it out as you place it back on the ground in the direction you were falling. The second option is to send your legs to the side and pike at the hips to come down without moving your hands. We will start doing freestanding kick ups just like we did on the wall. Put your hands on the ground and make small kicks, trying to keep your shoulders stable and stay in control. Straighten your legs and point your toes right as your feet leave the ground. Slowly work your way up to kicking higher and higher until you're all the way up into your handstand and then come down. Once that feels comfortable, start standing with your arms above your head and go for a 1-second hold. Here, kick up and touch your legs together at the top, then come right back the way you came up. Work on this until you can do it 5 times in a row without cartwheeling out. Make sure to keep your legs straight and point your toes the whole time you're in the air. After that, you just have to keep training. Do all the drills on the wall every time you practice, and work on slowly adding time to your freestanding kick-up holds. Once you can consistently do 1-second holds, go for 3 seconds, then go for 5, and so on. Alright folks, that's it for this tutorial. We hope that it helps you master your handstand kick-up. You can find our other tutorials and more on our Patreon page and by subscribing to our YouTube channel, as well as on our website popupmovement.com and on Instagram and Facebook @popupmovement. See you soon!